Are you ready? Okay. The first question. As Public Relations Coordinator, your job is to create weekly promotional flyers for AB Samahan's general body meeting, as well as other fundraising and social events along the way. Not only are you representing the beliefs and identity of the organization, but you are also representing yourself as a creator. How do you intend to go about creating appropriate flyers, representing the organization's image, as well as keeping up your own personal style?
That's a really great question. Thank you so much. So, with that, I do have my own personal style, and to be honest, I just got into graphic design just this year, so I am pretty new to it. However, I wouldn't see that as a negative because I still have so much passion and interest for graphic design, and I feel like with that, I will be constantly looking for new ways to develop my style and find my own individuality. But however, we are an organization, we are a team, we are a group. I would honestly love to gain more input from the rest of eBoard and get their input about what they want on their flyers. Because at the end of the day, it's me that's making these flyers, but I want to ensure that I encapsulate, whatever. I want to ensure that what I make for their event is what they want, like the message and what they want to portray through their event. I want to capture that through the graphics that I put.
As you know, the workload for Public Relations Coordinator is constant. There will always be a piece of work that is rather time-consuming. There will even be instances where some people do not inform you until right before the piece is needed. How would you go about setting and keeping your boundaries within the professional realm while working with those who are close to you?
Thank you for that question. Could you repeat it one more time for me, please?
Yeah. As you know, the workload for Public Relations Coordinator is constant. There will always be a piece of work that is rather time-consuming. There will even be instances where some people do not inform you until right before the piece is needed. How would you go about setting and keeping your boundaries within the professional realm while working with those who are close to you?
So with that, I understand the difficulty of constantly having to put out flyers all the time, and at the end of the day, we're all still students. And although I will constantly do my best to put out flyers that are, as I said, accurate and creative, and to be honest, I would set my expectations in the beginning once I get that position. At the end of the day, they are my friends, but this is a role and for the betterment of the organization. I'm not sure if this is going to sound harsh, but if they're sending it to me 30 minutes before the event, it's not fair to myself as an individual to have to make that event, to make that flyer. And so with that, I will send out these Google Forms. I will do my best to ensure that I put out my effort, and I want the rest of the team to put out their effort as well. So I'll make the Google Form, I'll have the deadline. I will set a deadline of how early I want it by. And I get it that some events happen spontaneously, and there will be some exceptions. But for the most part, if I am getting, oh, can I get a flyer in 30 minutes, please? My answer will be, we talked about this before, I wish you would respect myself as an individual and as PR, and I hope you understand this. If you need to make the flyer.
We're going to move into the audience question. Looking at your potential predecessors, it is apparent they have taken an extremely creative route within their role. However, the role of public relations is to be the forefront of our organization from a media standpoint. How do you intend to balance not only the appeal of your own work, but the necessity of this networking role?
Could you repeat the question one more time?
Of course. Looking at your potential predecessors, it is apparent they have taken an extremely creative route within their role. However, the role of public relations is to be the forefront of our organization from a media standpoint. How do you intend to balance not only the appeal of your own work, but the necessity of this networking role?
Thank you so much for the question. As PR, I feel like in the past year and honestly the past 2 years,
we've seen public relations take on a very creative approach to it, and I would still like to keep that going. However, at the end of the day, I still want to promote the visibility and like the appeal to the eye. So with that, I would try to avoid posters or graphics that have a lot of words to it, highlighting those really important key points. Also, one other thing that I want to emphasize is this past year, we were constantly including QR codes in our poster, and although I think that is a great thing to do, especially during GBMs, it's not as user-friendly sometimes when using it on Instagram, especially where there have been a few times where like, I do screenshot it, but Apple still won't let me click on the QR code. And so with that, I would utilize both the graphic and like the comment, like the caption itself, to ensure that it's accessible is the word, accessible to our members. So besides the QR code, I will also add a link to it or direct them where they could find it. And when it's directing members, I would ensure like, oh, go to our link tree, and I'll make sure that the link tree is updated as well to ensure that everything is constantly up to date. And then as for the networking portion, I really do want to highlight and emphasize that PR is not just about the silly little graphics that we see on Instagram every week, but it's also about catering. It's about networking to other organizations on campus, whether it's the other APIDO orgs or even AS, and beyond into the San Diego community. With my role, I really do want to work towards creating that bond and connection with the other APIDO organizations on campus, with collaboration with community or socials or even the AS liaison. I really do want to work on expanding ourselves to others and everyone, so that not only Samahan gets to know the love and care that we feel here, but for the rest of San Diego State as well. That is all.